Welcome to Drowsy History. Let your mind slow down as we drift gently into the life of a medieval monk. The abbey bell tolls long before sunrise. It's the 13th century, somewhere in the English countryside. Within thick stone walls, in a cold cell with a straw mattress and a wooden crucifix on the wall, Brother Thomas opens his eyes. The air is damp. The only light comes from a sliver of moon filtering through a narrow slit window. It is just after 4 a.m. Known as Matins, this is the first of 8 daily prayer services. Thomas rises in silence, wraps his wool robe tightly around himself, and steps into the dim corridor, where a few others already shuffle toward the chapel. Words are rarely spoken. The rule of silence is not absolute, but highly valued. The chapel is lit by candlelight. Shadows of arches and robes flicker across the stone. Gregorian chant begins slowly, voices in unison. There is no harmony, only a single flowing tone that rises and falls like breath. The service is slow, reflective, and sacred. It will last almost an hour. After matins and lauds, the monks return to their cells briefly, then gather again for prime, the first daylight prayer. By now, a faint gray has appeared behind the hills. The abbey grounds begin to stir. Some monks head to the scriptorium, others to the fields. Brother Thomas is assigned to the gardens today, pulling weeds, trimming herbs, gathering medicinal plants. Breakfast is taken in silence, a slice of coarse bread, a small bowl of broth, perhaps a boiled egg, if the abbey is fortunate that week. Meals are accompanied by readings. One monk stands at a lectern and reads aloud from the scriptures while the others eat in silence. Work continues throughout the morning. The rhythm of the day is defined not by bells and clocks, but by the position of the sun and the prayers it dictates. After terse and more labor, the monks gather for their main meal of the day at midday. It is humble but nourishing. Lentils, onions. Thomas is assigned to the scriptorium. He carefully copies Latin texts with ink made from oak galls and iron salts. The script is precise, flowing, repetitive. Mistakes are scraped off with a knife. Illumination is left to the more experienced brothers, those trained to paint golden flourishes and tiny saints in the margins. Vespers comes at dusk. The abbey quiets. Candles flicker. Another round of chants fills the stone arches. Afterward, the monks take a brief evening walk in the cloister garden. It is often the only time they breathe outside air during the day. Compline is the final prayer. It marks the day's end. Brother Thomas returns to his cell, tired but still. He kneels in prayer beside his straw bed. The cold stone presses through his robe. Then he lies down, wraps the thin blanket around himself, and listens to the wind as it whispers through the chapel windows. There are no clocks, no rush, only the rhythm of devotion. The bells will toll again in a few hours, and the day will begin anew, quietly, dutifully, and without complaint. The routine of a monk is unchanging, yet it brings a deep sense of peace. There are no surprises, no chaos. Brother Thomas finds comfort in this, knowing what comes next, knowing that every hour has its place. His mind is clear, unburdened by distractions. Sometimes, during his garden work, he sees birds nestling between the hedges or hears the lowing of the abbey's cattle in the distance. The natural world is not ignored here. It is embraced quietly as a reflection of the divine. Each plant has a purpose: sage for the throat, chamomile for rest, rosemary for memory. Not all days are calm. In the scriptorium, long hours hunched over parchment cause Thomas's back to ache. His eyes tire from focusing on small letters by candlelight. Ink stains his fingers. But even the discomfort is accepted. Labor is prayer, he reminds himself. To copy Scripture is to touch the Word itself. On feast days, the rhythm of life shifts. The bells ring more often, the meals are slightly richer, and the readings include joyful psalms. The brothers may be permitted a short conversation in the cloister. Laughter is rare, but on those days, it echoes gently beyond the abbey. The outside world is distant, a realm of kings and battles and noise. Here, within the walls, there is only God. The turning of pages, the flickering of candles, the rise and fall of chants. When visitors arrive, it is a curious sight. Pilgrims with tired feet, nobles seeking prayers. Sometimes scholars come to examine the abbey's manuscripts. Their voices are foreign, their clothing strange. Brother Thomas watches quietly, offering bread or water without a word. Then he returns to his duties, unchanged. The seasons shape life as much as the hours. In winter, the cells grow colder and breath fogs the air during prayer. Extra layers are worn beneath the robes, and frost coats the chapel windows. In summer, the gardens bloom with color, and the monks rise earlier to avoid the midday heat. Brother Thomas finds that the repetition does not dull the senses, it sharpens them. He notices the way the candles burn slightly longer on damp days. He knows the exact creak of the third stair leading to the library. These details ground him. By evening, after so much stillness, the mind begins to wander. Thomas sometimes remembers his childhood, a farmhouse, his mother's bread, a stream where he once caught frogs. But the memories are soft, distant, like dreams viewed through mist. His life now is here, within these sacred stones. As he lies once more on his straw mattress, the last flicker of the chapel candle extinguished, silence returns. True silence, not the absence of noise, but the presence of peace. Outside, the wind sighs in the trees. Inside, time stands still. Tomorrow will be the same. And that, for Brother Thomas, you've just heard a piece of history softly told. Sleep well until next time.